come to the post-processing part. So what we need to do is to go to the compositing like this and use nodes and split our view to 2 and disable the backdrop and disable this like this and click N here to hide this panel and change this to image editor and search for viewer node to see your result. And to see your result, we need the viewer node. So click Control Shift and click on it to have the viewer node. So we can zoom out and zoom in our image like this and click Shift and drag and drop this like this to collapse all these wireframes. So the first thing we need to do is to add the AO. So to add this, we need to click Shift A and click color and click mix and mix color. So as you see here, we have this AO node. It's a black and white map. So we need to mix it with the mix color like this and plug it in the second image and change this to multiply. Because it's a black and white map, so we need to decrease it a little bit to 0.1. So if I mute and unmute, you will see the changes. You can increase it to 0.15 like this as you want. Now we need to add some passes. We can add adjust and exposure. If you don't have this organization of the nodes, you should have the version of 4.1 or 4.0. So we can add an exposure node to control our exposure like this. You can increase it and decrease it. Also, we need to add some adjust. Also, we need to add some filter like filter. We have box and sharpen. We need to decrease it to 0.05. If you need to increase it a little bit, increase it as you see here. If you don't have an accurate values, you can change the box sharpen to diamond and decrease it a little bit to 0.03 like this to don't have this artifact. So I will decrease it a little bit, 0.02 like this, and I think that I get the right value. Then I need to add filter, or I need to add a glare effect like this. As you see here, this is a streak effect, but I don't need it. I need the fog glow and make the quality to high and decrease a little bit the size to 6 like this. The final effect we need to do is to go to transform and add the lens distortion. If you already use an old version of Blender, you will find this lens distortion in the distort category. So we need to click fit and change those to 0.001 to have the real simulation of the lens distortion of a real camera. Now we need some color correction. So what we need first is the color brightness and contrast. So we go to color, adjust, and brightness and contrast. So to increase the contrast, I will make this 1 to have a little bit contrast. If you see that the contrast is very overrated, you can decrease it to 0.2 to have a little bit contrasty image. Mute it and unmute it to see the result. If you don't love it, decrease a little bit to 0.1 and make it like this. So the next node we need to add is hue saturation value. To have a little bit of vibrance in our image, we need to decrease the saturation to 0.9 to decrease a little bit the saturation of the image. The final node, which is the color balance, we need to add it like this and change the left gamma gain to offset power slope to change the color of your image, the mood, and the color of white balance. So you can change it to bluish and you can change it to greenish like this as you want. It's something of taste. So this is everything for the post-production. We iterate the final node, which is the noisy. Every realistic render or a real render and real images has some level of noises. So what we need to do is to duplicate this and add it here and plug it with the noisy image and change the blend mode to mix and increase a little bit of the noise, because the real images has some level of noise like this. If we mute it and unmute it, you see that we have some level of noise to have some realistic result. So this is everything about the post-production. So in the bonus videos, we will talk about the light groups and the crypto matte. So this is everything in this course. I hope to see your results. If you make a result with this short course, please share it with me in Facebook or Instagram or an email. So see you in next and future courses. Have a nice day. Salam.